Shalom. First, I want to start by saying all praises and glory be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Ruach Kwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. And salutations to you brothers out there doing the work week in and week out. Shalom to the few that believe as well. With the videos I've seen, of Elder Apostle Bar, the brother Baquara Moth, addressing ISUPK about, the different countries that Israelites were taken from, which is along the west coast, the interiors of Africa, as you know it today. How they were saying like the Igbos and the Shantis and different ones that were not Israelites, and that's just not true. The Igbos, which is Nigeria, he was saying that they're not Israelites, and that's so not true. Whom I got on the screen right now is a Hall of Fame, one of the greatest tight ends to ever play in the National Football League by the name of Shannon Sharp. He had a brother named Sterling Sharp, and I remember that his brother career ended early. I was a little kid just starting to watch sports when I was watching the Sharp brothers. And Shannon, I watched most of his career because I lived through that era. And one of the greatest tight ends and most vocal players on the field. And he has a high regard in the entertainment world among athletes is Uncle Shay Shay. And this man's ancestry goes back to Nigeria. Now I'm going to play this short clip. Lord willing, this video is edifying. Just going to be real quick and short and sweet, I'm going to show you the spirit of this man being 90% Nigerian. And I got the proof too. Let's see if this man has a spirit of Israelite or Hamite. Okay. And this is a man that not only he was a Hall of Famer football legend in the National Football League, this is one of the top, if not the top, sports analysts in the whole sports world right now. All right. Check out this small clip. Fair use, by the way. This is for teaching purposes only.
2 pencils there for us today.
Oh, we got props.
Yeah, if your team won, you can join me with a victory cigar.
You smoke cigars?
You're calling Black and Mild cigars?
I'll be on the miles. I'll be on the miles with that yak hard yesterday, Skip.
Shannon, this is very off-brand.
Hold on, Joey.
I'm just going to say,
first of all,
tell you that.
If your team did not score a point yesterday, please do not touch the victory cigar.
I think by not smoking Black and Mild,
where did you buy those at Rite Aid?
Hold on. First of all, Skip, why you be on me on these miles? Because I be on these miles and hen dog, and now y'all got problems with me. Let me celebrate.
That is something.
Wait, Joy, help me out.
So you mean to tell me that you guys out there think this man is a Hamite? Now, when you look up his ancestry, right, let's go to it, right? This is from the Ghana Web. Right, as you can see. It says Ghana Web. And this is actually dated, it says Tuesday, the 8th of March, 2022. It says, I'm 90% Nigerian, American sports icon Shannon Sharp reveals. Shannon Sharp, a former American football legend and sports analyst, has disclosed that his ancestry is from Nigeria. So, I mean, you mean to tell me you think this man is a Hamite? It says, excuse me, he made this known in an interview on his podcast on Monday, March 8th, with Nigerian-American professional mixed martial artist, former freestyle wrestler, and graduated folk style wrestler, Kamaru Usman, which he's a fighter of the UFC, by the way, for the latest episode of his podcast, which is Club Shay Shay on YouTube. Sharp was a tight end for the Denver Broncos and Baltimore Ravens of the National Football League before he retired, which I watched all of that, right? I watched him play for the Broncos, win 2 back-to-back titles. Um, and also he won with the Baltimore Ravens. Um, he won with the Baltimore Ravens. Slocky. No. You good? Salakia for the noise. Thought somebody was at my door. But continuing on with the article, it says right here, and it's quote unquote, this is the words of Shannon Sharp. Okay, it says, "I'm going to share a little secret, which I haven't told anybody this. I did my ancestry. I'm 90% Nigerian." He told Usman, the reigning UFC welterweight champion. Usman responded, "Of course, I see it. I see. 90%. Oh yeah, okay. We've been claiming you often." So they get along and they agree. All right. I don't see where they had a dispute about it. All right. But Usman actually said that he can tell that Shannon Sharp was Nigerian. And not only Shannon Sharp is Nigerian, which is, go back to the Igbos, right? You have a famous boxer by the name of Anthony Joshua. He's from Nigeria. Okay. And the point is, Shannon Sharp has a lively spirit about himself. All right. This is 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 5. It says, "Ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house, and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to the Heavenly Father by Yahweh Shah Mashiach." So, no, Salakia. No, do not mess with that. Chill. Chill. Salakia Akim. If you are is listening, I should have put him up his cage. But continuing on, the point is, we as Israelites, we are lively people, and Shannon Sharp, he's very lively. You see this man speak and talk to other players, and on the show he's on, Undisputed with Skip Bayless. Even Skip Bayless admitted that without Shannon Sharp, he don't think he would have continued on with his sports career, because he said in his own words that Shannon Sharp was a gift sent from heaven. All right, because he said he could not have found a better sports analyst, coworker, or partner to do the show with. Okay, and so that's what even draws the heathen to Jake. That we're so lively as a people. You know what I'm talking about? So just like Shannon Sharp, he came, to realize that he's 90% Nigerian, which are the Igbos. Well, the Igbos, when you look them up, that goes back to the word Eber, which we're going to get the Hebrew on it, all right? Because that was one of the sons of Shem, all right? Matter of fact, let's read it first. Genesis 10 and 21, it says, "Unto Shem also the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth, the elder. Even to him were children born." So it says the children of Shem, Elam and Ashur, and Arphaxad, and Lud and Aram, and the children of Aram, Uz and Hul and Gether and Mash, and Arphaxad begat Salah, and Salah begat Eber. So when you go to Eber, this is what the word Igbo or Igbo go back to, which is the Hebrew word there is Ibar. All right, when you know how to read, all right, this is the dash one with dash right there. It says Ibar, from the wild looking symbol to the middle symbol to the other symbol, going from right to left. The wild looking symbol will make the sound, all right, or the letter in English I. The middle character is Ba. And then the last character is Ra. And you combine the Ba and the Ra. And this Ibar. All right. Drop the A on the end. Ibar. All right. Which comes from who? Shem. Which makes who? The Nigerian people Shemitic. They were a part of the dispersed, all right, Jews, all right, which goes back to the tents of Judah, that fled into the interiors of Africa, all right, from Roman persecution. And to be exact, the siege started in 66 and lasted until 73. See? Where Jake was fleeing everywhere, all right, from Roman persecution. You see? And this is why the Heavenly Father, this is why he said that he was going to gather, all right, Israelites out of all these different nations, all right, like a sifting process as you would sift seed. And what seed is the Lord is going to sift? The seed of Israel, all right, Yazra'ilah, all right. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 9. It says, "For lo, I will command and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations, like as corn is sifted in a sieve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth." So the Heavenly Father is going to actually sift, all right, Israelites, all right, from among the other nations, like you would sift corn, which is a seed, all right, and do what? Take us back to the land which he gave unto our fathers, the land of Canaan, which is now known as the land of Israel, all right. And when you look into time, Acts chapter 2, it talks about what? Different Israelites that came out of these lands, okay. It mentions a lot of, matter of fact, let's go to it real quick, excuse me. This is the day of Pentecost. Let's go down here real quick. Acts chapter 2, and then this is going into the day of Pentecost, where you had Israelites coming from all these different lands. Excuse me. Going back to Jerusalem to worship, okay, which is that's in the law. All right. Matter of fact, I don't want to just quote it. That I'm gonna see. Can I pull it up real quick? Deuteronomy 16:16. 3 times in the year shall all thy males appear before Yahweh thy power in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty. So this is involving the 3 times that all the males, all right, all the seed, all right, which is the men, all right, of Israel shall return, okay, for 3 high holy days, all right. So in the book of Acts, this is what happened, the day of Pentecost, right? I'm going to just jump down right to the point. Because they was all amazed at, the different tongues that was being spoken. And then one of the questions was, well, in fact, let's see, Acts 2:7. And they were all amazed and marveled, saying one to another, "Behold, are not all these which speak Galileans?" Meaning what? They were Israelites. "And how hear we every man in our own tongue, wherein we were born?" Because why? They more likely could speak the Hebrew. Because why? Or how, sorry. We know that the language was Hebrew because what did they speak? All right, in the land of Israel. The language was Hebrew. Okay. It says, verse 9, Parthians and Medes. Now, when you go, matter of fact, let me get a little blue letter real quick. Just look up some of these locations, if you will. Okay, Parthians. Okay. So we're gonna go to Google and excuse me, look at the Parthians. So the Parthians, right? Parthians, a nomadic tribe called the Parni, thought to be the tribe of the Scythians. The Parni were a satrapy of the Seleucid Empire, or satrapy, however you pronounce it. They were located southeast of the Caspian Sea. They eventually gained independence from the Seleucid Empire and formed their own empire. And these, all right, that were at Jerusalem, all right, for the day of Pentecost, came out of Parthians, right? Says in Medes, it's like in Medes, and that's geographically that location is up in Europe, by the way. Caspian Sea, we know where it's at, right? That's up, all right, up in Europe. It says Medes, going back to the Persians and Medes, right? It says Elamites, all right, the East Indians, and the dwellers in Mesopotamia. Now you go to Mesopotamia, right? We're gonna copy that. Go back to Google. So Mesopotamia goes back to where? Iraq. Okay. What you gonna call them? Ishmaelites? And in Judea, and in Cappadocia. All right, let's go to Cappadocia. All right. You're gonna look this up. Cappadocia is in Turkey, right? What else it says? In Pontus. Now where's Pontus at? I'm gonna copy all these and look up all these different regions, right? Where Israelites was coming from, right? Pontus is from the Greek. So this is a land that belonged to the Greeks, right? Which that goes back to where? Europe. All right, Greece. All right. It says in Asia, on the Asian continent, right? In Phrygia, in Pamphylia, all right? In Egypt, we know Egypt is in where? Africa. And in the parts of Libya, all right? Libya, I believe, goes back to Libya today. Let me see. Let me verify that. Let's qualify it. Libya, North says country in North Africa. So yeah, because that was Muammar Gaddafi was the president of Libya before Esau destroyed it. So that's another country, or that belongs to the land of Ham as well. All right, so what you call the land of Ham is known as Africa today. About Cyrene and strangers from Rome, Jews and proselytes, Greeks and Arabians, we do hear them speak in our tongues the wonderful works of the Heavenly Father. So Israelites came out of these different regions, these different countries, these different continents or lands, period, and they came to Jerusalem to worship. So how is it hard to understand that you're going to have Israelites come out of even these so-called African nations and even countries? All right. Remember, one of the curses that the Lord would scatter the children of Israel. Okay. Deuteronomy 28, verse 15. Salaki. It says Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee, And one of the curses that befell upon the Israelites, all of us, especially the tents of Judah, is that we would be scattered among all these different nations. Deuteronomy 28 in verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. So the Lord said he would scatter us as a punishment, all right, a curse of some evil that comes from the Lord, because why? We were disobedient, we went off. So the Lord punished us by causing us to be scattered among these different nations, whom we went a horn, and worshiping their other god, worshiping their gods. I'm sorry, which were idols. All right. So the Lord will cause these different nations to come up and carry away his children, which are the Israelites, captives. As what? A measurement of punishment and correction. But then the Lord said he's going to gather the Israelites from among these different nations. And how can we prove that? Because not only did the Lord scatter us, right? Matter of fact, before I go there, let's go to Jeremiah real quick. I want to grab some real quick. Okay, let me grab some real quick. Bear me 1 second. Because here we go. Jeremiah chapter 31 and verse 10. It says, hear the word of Yahweh, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off, and say, he that scattered Israel will gather him. Who scattered us? The Lord, because why? We were disobedient. How can we prove that? I just proved it in Deuteronomy 28:64. And he shall scatter thee among all people. That's talking about who? The other nations. All right. Again, it says, hear the word of Yahweh, O ye nations, and declare it in the isles afar off. Excuse me. And say, he that scattered Israel, which is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, will gather him. And it says, and keep him as a shepherd doth his flock. For Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, had redeemed Jacob and ransomed him from the hand of him that was stronger than he. So the Lord is going to gather the children of Jacob, which is the children of Israel, because we know that Jacob's name changed from Jacob to Israel. That's Genesis 32, I believe. So you're talking about they can't be Israelites because they come from the Igbos or the Ashanti. You don't understand the scriptures if you call yourself a teacher, because we know that there's Israelites among all people. Again, Deuteronomy 28:64. Deuteronomy 28:64 says that the Lord will scatter us among all people. So you're going to have Israelites coming out of all nations outside the nation of Israel. That's Elam, that's Edom, that's Moab, that's Ammon, that's Ishmael, that's Japhet, that's the Assyrians, the different nations of Ham. Okay, the Lord said he's going to gather, all right, us from among these nations where he has scattered us to. All right, when you look at Isaiah 11:11, I want to touch on that real quick. Isaiah 11:11 says, and it should come to pass in that day, Slacky for my dog in the background. He's just loose, man. But he wants some attention. He gotta wait. But Slacky, he's still kind of he's still a pup. So Isaiah 11:11 it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros, and from Cush. Cush is the Ethiopians, by the way. And from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. So the Lord is going to what? Recover the remnant of his people. That goes into the elect, because only a remnant of us are going to be saved. Lord willing, I'm a part of that remnant. All right, the elect of that remnant. All right, which we say the hopefully elect. Lord willing, Yahweh Ratazah, I'm a part of that number. Okay. Verse 12, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Because Judah have been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Even when you go to Joel, this is the book of Joel. As a matter of fact, Joel, the 3rd chapter, in verse 6, it says, the children also, well, let's go up. The Lord, come on. Joel 3 and 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon? The Hamites, right? And all the coasts of Palestine, which was originally inhabited by who? The Philistines. Palestine, go back to the word Philistine, which the original Philistines were who? Hamites. All right. Will ye render me a recompense? And if ye recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head. Because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have you sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border. And where did that take place at? Mainly the land of Ham. When those slave ships came from Ham, from the what? The west coast, and a little northward. Mainly the west coast is where those ships came from. So, if you don't understand that they're going to be Israelites among all these people, come out of these different countries and nations of people, and, in my humble opinion, I don't think Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, through the Holy Spirit, Baal Shem Dash, is dealing with you, man. I mean, honestly, because even the multitude is going to come back to the land of Israel by way of who? Yahweh Bashem Yahushua delivering them. They're going to come out of all these different nations. This is the book of Revelation chapter 7, the mixed multitude. Let's touch on that real quick. Because they came, they cried, praising, or they had cries of praise in their mouth, praising Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. This is Revelation 7 and verse 9. It says, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our power which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb. Praising who? The one that sitteth upon the throne, which is the Most High, and the Lamb is who? Yahweh Shai. Because why? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai is going to gather Israelites from all these nations. That's that great multitude. Okay? That's going to be poured out or sifted out. All right, Amos 9 and 9 again. Sifted out from among these different nations. All right? Which are who? Israelites. So they're going to come out of the west coast of Africa. They're going to come out of North, Central, South America. They're going to come out of Europe. They're going to come out of Asia. Different parts of the Middle East. All right? I don't give a shit. They're way up in Greenland. They're going to come out of these different lands. Okay? And we know that according to what? Scripture. So with that, I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, this video was edifying. And until next time, I want to say to you, Akim, and you, Akwaf, Shalom. And you brothers out there that may come from the west coast of Africa, which we know that that's fulfillment of Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And don't let these guys, cause your faith to decline. Okay, keep believing, keep doing the work, and Lord willing, you endure to the end, you'll be saved. If it's the Lord's will. So I want to say shalom.